This is a pivotal part of the weekend right now. You guys, I said this yesterday, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat right now. I think you're all going to need to get on your feet for the next speaker here to welcome him. Who's heard of Brendon Burchard? Brendon Burchard is the #1 New York Times best-selling author and the world's leading high-performance coach. In October 2017, he was on the cover of Success magazine, where the article named him the world's highest-paid motivation and marketing trainer. He has several online personal development courses, on Kajabi, of course, and with the Oprah Winfrey Network, and has trained over 1.5 million students. The Oprah magazine named him one of the most influential leaders in the field of personal growth. But let me tell you something. That's all cool. Everybody knows that. You guys, you've heard all that, right? He's also the best human being on the planet, right? You see him, you watch his videos, you watch his blogs, you listen to his podcast, and you think, man, that guy sounds cool, but maybe it's a facade. Maybe he's not really like that. Let me tell you, he's really like that all the time. He has that energy all the time. He carries around travel pouches, and he's always on, and he is the nicest person. He's the most generous person in the world. I had the pleasure of going to Puerto Rico with he and his wife Denise and my wife last week, and he invited a bunch of other smart people down, not implying I'm smart. They were smart. And he's just so generous, and he just gives. He wants to help everybody with their business, and he is just a great friend, and I call him my brother. So please welcome this video, which is going to introduce Brendon Burchard.
One of my good friends and one of the most talented people I know, Brendon Burchard. He's one of the most successful coaches in the world today. Brendon is a New York Times best-selling author whose videos have been viewed over 100 million times online. He consults and coaches people like Oprah Winfrey, Ariana Huffington, Usher, and many, many more.
He is the top 100 most followed public figures on Facebook with over 10 million fans, 2 million students. Myself being one of them, and maybe some of you as well, have taken one of his online courses. And there are tens of thousands of people who have attended his live seminars all around the world. He's smart, he's thoughtful, he's funny, he's authentic, he's truthful, and he's one of the best at what he does in his business. And it is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Brendon Burchard. How you doing, Kajabi? Do me a favor, turn that person left or right. Shake everybody in the room and thank them for being here. Have a seat, beautiful people. Let's rock and roll. I couldn't hear you. Could you hear me? I was like, are they hearing what I'm screaming at them? I don't know. It's a huge honor. Who's had an awesome 2 days at Kajabi, ladies and gentlemen? He's going to hate this, but Kenny's right over there. Would you give him an unbelievable round of applause? Let's go, guys. Let's go. Thank you, my brother. If you don't know my story, I'm really about to annoy you with it. But I'm literally on this stage because that man. Yeah. Like, our careers and so much of our lives has kind of gone lockstep together. Like, even before Kajabi launched to the world, my first online course was on the beta Kajabi. And as we started marketing it, it wasn't the same tool we all have the blessing of having today. So I'd be like launching a big program, and I'd say, Kenny, I'm trying to figure out this HTML code. Like, what would you put in here? And he'd email it back, and he would email the file back, the HTML file. Anyone ever built a web page before back then? And so he'd email me back. I'm like, oh, look at this code. And I'd take the code, and I'd change it, and I'd try to move the box, and I'd email back. I'm like, I can't get the box to line up here, Kenny, the CEO of Kajabi. Can you help me line it up? And we would work till 1, 2, 3 in the morning coding pages together. Like, literally, and that would go on for 3 or 4 years. I'd do a big launch or promotion with Ariana Huffington or somebody from Facebook or Oprah Winfrey, and literally, it'd be going back to Kenny at night. Hey, I promised him this. Can Kajabi do it? He's like, no, but we could build it. I'm like, tonight? And we literally built this thing. Like, so many of the templates that you have in there are things that he and I originally probably put up, in like 2010, 11, and 12. Like, we were working on it. Now everything works fancy and looks amazing and is beautiful that we know today. But I want to share that with you because that's when I began, really. That's when I began. My career scaled literally as Kajabi got better functions. My career as it is today, with millions and millions of people on email lists, in funnels, in videos, and courses, literally just kind of scaled. Even, on this last trip in Puerto Rico, I was like, hey, Kenny, can it do this yet? Backstage today, hey, Kenny, I learned this new thing. Can it do it yet? Like, every time I learn something new, I'm like, can we do it? And half the time he's like, of course, you just go here, here, here. And the other time he's like, no, we should build that. And then literally I'll get an email like 10 days later. He's like, it does it now. Just try it. And like that willingness to build towards what his users needed is why Kajabi is the best damn system in the world today. That's it. That's it, brother. Because I was one of those guys in 2007 and 8 who had 15 different programs. Anyone ever? Like, I had all of them. I mean, you name it, I had that system, and I was trying to make it talk to the other one and talk to the other one, and my customers mad because they couldn't log into here, and we couldn't figure it out here. My team's like, we have that? What? Which system? Where do I log in? And I was like, oh my gosh. And for 10 years, I did all of my own marketing. And when I say all of it, and Kenny can verify, I mean, we're talking, I wrote every email, did 4 posts to social media every day, put my videos up, marketed, ran all my ads by myself, built every single page, every single email campaign, every single pipeline by myself for a decade. Never had any marketing help. I had customer service help, but never any marketing. So for me, I literally had to figure all this stuff out as we go along. And I'm just here for those who are new or who just got it. I'm like, does anyone ever look around the world and say, you guys are so lucky? Because you remember how hard it was? You're just like, it's just like when a millennial complains about something to you really hard, and you're like, my dad fought in like World War I. What are you talking about? Or you know what I mean? Or it's just like, it's hard to explain to people how hard things used to be. And I also say that with so much joy in my heart because everybody in this room, if you have the blessing of being in this room using Kajabi, I'm here to tell you, you don't have a ceiling. There is no stop to your growth. There's only a stop to your motivation and your drive, right? The tools used to stop us. Now the tools enable us. So where do you want to go? What do you want to build? How big are you thinking? What do you really want for your families this next 12 months and 18 months? Because as I've built my career and my brands, it always was centered upon those types of things. I never wanted to be super followed or super famous or super wealthy because where I came from, we didn't have any of that. I came from Butte, Montana. Any Montanans in the room? Yeah, baby! Probably my cousin or something. There's a lot of enthusiasm. Montana's the 4th largest state by land mass, but we still just barely crack 1 million people. So, it's like Alaska, California, Texas, and then Montana. And I grew up in a truly economically depressed Irish mining town. I grew up in Butte, Montana. Tough town to grow up in. Not a lot of resources. When I went to high school, went to another town that didn't have a lot of money in it. My parents working, full-time between the two of them, trying to make money for us 4 kids. I literally, even today, I don't know how they did it. I just don't understand how they did it. And as we were growing up, we struggled just so much along the way. I never even understood that people had any money until I went to college, and there were kids in college while I was working 3 full-time jobs and going to college full-time. Literally, other kids had like a car that their parents bought them, and this like boggled my mind. Because the town sometimes people say, I grew up on the wrong side of tracks. The town I grew up in didn't even have tracks. I'm like, it was just all wrong. I was like, what? And then I see people get like parents renting people, their kids' houses or buying their kids' houses for college. And I was like, oh my gosh, my whole ambition in my entire life was like, if I could make $40,000 a year, my life would change completely, because my parents working 2 full-time never got that. No one in our town earned that where I grew up. So that to me was like, as everyone now says, well, I want to be a billionaire. I was like, $40,000 would be pretty amazing to me. And, and then I remember doing the first launch with Kajabi that we really went in on. It was like, $40,000, let alone, in a week would be good. And then we did it in like a minute. And it was like, okay, the tools and the systems and the things changed. It went from just like, I hope I can share my message with the world to, oh, this is a business? How many people have had that opening in the last 3 or 4 years where you're like, oh, this is a thing? Anyone else? You're like, oh, I know you had Rachel Hollis here yesterday. She did a great job. She's so great. She's so great. Right at the start, as Girl Wash Your Face was taking off, she came out to the house. And we sat down with her and Dave, and I was explaining all the things, some of the things I'll share with you today, and she's like, oh, we can do, that's a thing, and this is a thing, and this is a thing, and it's like, this industry this is not new. But when you're in it, when you're at home, it feels like everything is new and everything is scary, and how does it all work? But I know many of you right now in this room, you're ready to scale too. Like, you already invest in the system, you invest in the team, and you're like, okay, how do we scale? So the title they kind of gave me today was, how are these people out there like really crushing it, like doing 10 million or more a year? How are they doing it? I think I was the first $10 million a year guy back in the day. Yeah, was I? Okay, I never got they had no badges back then. I think Kenny took a screenshot. He's like, holy shit. I was like, holy shit. I think that was the badge. I don't remember getting nothing out of that. My reward was we would do a launch, and I do a big online launch. And who's ever shut down your launches at midnight before? You shut it down at midnight? So we'd shut down at midnight, and I'd have to turn it off, right? So my little reward was I'd do a big affiliate type launch, and in those last couple hours, it just just huge numbers, and it'd finish, and then of course I'd have to like midnight, and then it'd take about an hour and a half from midnight to about 1:30 to call all the affiliates, all the promotional partners, talk with the team, shut it all down. It'd be about 1:30 in the morning. And I developed this rhythm. I was like, the first time, it's like 1:30 in the morning. I was so excited. I went home because I rented a little place where I could shoot my videos and do my work, right? And I'd go home. I wanted to tell my wife, but she'd be sleeping. So I just okay, I go to bed quietly, and I'd be so excited. And I was like, I got to develop some kind of reward system. And this is my big fancy Montana reward system, okay? The little place that I was renting also had a bedroom with a shower in it. And I remember I was like so tired. And I went to go to take a shower to celebrate this big launch. And I was about to get in the shower. I was like, you know what? No, I need to celebrate it. But none of my friends would be up at 1:30 in the morning after a big launch. And, sometimes you do it, most of the work yourself. And those days, I had to shut down the launch. I built everything myself. So it would just be me. I'd close it down at night, and we'd have life-changing type of money. But I just, go home. So I was like, okay, well, I want to take a shower. And those who know why you have to take showers, because you are so sweaty and gross after a 5 or 6 day launch. Have you ever been more gross? Why is it at the end of a launch, you're just like, at the beginning of launch, you're so excited, and at the end, you look like Frankenstein, like, and you're hoping for the damn thing to close down so you can shower. So those of you who, you know what I'm saying. So I said, no, I stopped at the fridge, got myself a beer, went over, and many of you know me, I can't really handle a beer, so this is going to be a good night. So I get that beer, and I go in the shower. And I just stand under there in the hot water, trying to become a human, drinking a beer. And I was like, I made it. So to say the least, I'm not super fancy, because that was my way of celebrating $1 million launch. A beer in the shower. Good job, Brendon. But all of the celebrations along the way, I got to talk with Kenny about it. I got to thank him and celebrate with the entire Kajabi team as that team went from, Kenny and 2 or 3 other people to now this incredible organization and company that's changing the world today. I got to go along lockstep. So for me, I haven't been this nervous in so long to be on a stage, because this is also the stage and the company that made me. So thank you guys for having me here. It's really cool. Everybody. So I got to tell you this big fancy thing of how do you get to 10 million? And I was like, well, what I'd like to do is share some principles that help me do that along the way, and then more than that, then double that, and more than that, and just kind of break down some of the ways I think about it. And then also I always get that question from people who's like, well, if you started all over again with Kajabi, what would you do? And I'll share those 4 things towards the end of like, well, this is what I would do. Also help you diagnose if your company isn't growing the way that you want. There's pretty much 10 reasons that it's not, in this industry anyway, and we'll just kind of break it all down as we go along. It'll be more of a technical presentation than I usually give, because I'm more of the, let's dance and motivational kind of stuff, but hopefully you'll be able to stick with me, because I think it's really important. There's a lot of myths about what's happening out there. How do you reach $10 million? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not about views. So some of you who obsess and live and do nothing, but I got to be popular and I got to get views. I wasn't super popular or had lots of views when I had $10 million in the bank. It wasn't like that. When I had $100,000 in the bank, it wasn't about that. It's not about the views. It's also not about sponsored posts, because influencers always think, oh, I got to do sponsored posts. And listen, I know some of you are like, but I'm not an influencer, Brendon. I'm like, if you have a business and you're an entrepreneur in the United States of America or anywhere in the world, and you get to wear that badge, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a CEO, you are a person of influence. We're the ones going to change this world. Can I get an amen on a Saturday? So you, at some point in your life, you step into that full ownership of the truth that you can lead, that you can change, that you can influence other people. And if you never step into that, that's why you keep stepping in and out of your business. You didn't own it. I work with a lot of CEOs who never own it. Some of you in this room, even with all due respect, you're still approaching it as a hobby. I kind of do it on the side here, and I kind of make some money there, and I kind of do that. And listen, without taking full ownership of your dream, you will never scale an empire. If it's not real to you, you won't make it great. It's kind of like, the world doesn't need more half-hearted lovers, right? The world doesn't need more half-interested parents. The world doesn't need more half-engaged entrepreneurs and leaders either. You either own this, in fact, you are responsible for this dream that was sown in your heart. If you've got that dream and it is in your heart, you are responsible for it, and when you fully own it, it asks you to expand. Because no human was ever gifted from on high with a small idea, right? We are here to take care of each other. And when we are here to take care of each other, at some point we got to own that in our, you own this business. You are the captain of this ship. You're going to make this business big, or you're going to keep tiddling and piddling and churning and hoping and nothing's going to happen. At some point, it's got to be real in your heart that you need to make this thing big, and you need to look bigger than what most people do. Because now we're in the sort of social media influencer world versus the influence world or the leadership world, where people are like, I guess I'll make, I'll get famous and I'll
get some sponsored brands. I'll partner with some ad people, and I'll make a little money. And they're so small. They're thinking about monetizing one post versus changing the world. And that's why we have a problem. We have so much like become myopic thinkers. The little things right in front of us that we can't see the dream anymore. And every time we take the idea or the vision away, every time we stop seeing that dream, what we do is we kind of look around what's in front of us, and what's in front of us is there's always stuff, and now you're distracted. You have all the tools, all the ideas, all the capabilities, but your distraction is killing you. That's what I always tell people when they say, well, Brendon, I can't get what I want. My dreams don't come true. The universe doesn't give me anything. I say, maybe the universe isn't giving you exactly what you want, because based off all your distractions, it's simply unclear what you are asking for. I mean, you're doing 100 different things versus the dream, the mission, and the ambition. And this group doesn't need a productivity conversation from me, but if you don't own this dream fully, really embody it, you are never going to bring it to fruition. That dream was sown in your heart. That business idea was given to you. You are responsible for it. And when you feel responsible for it, you don't just be like, I got an email out. Because who's done that on Friday? Oh, shit, I got to send the email. Like, no, you're like, okay, I'm building something here that matters. You have to own the dream. Remember, say, I own my dream. I own my dream. Turn to the person left, right, shake them, and say, you have to own the dream. You better be thinking bigger than views. You better be thinking bigger than posts. You better be thinking bigger than that, because how do you get big? You build a real business with recurring revenue models. You put in those evergreen product funnels. You build those high-end services and events. You go for it. You don't keep saying, oh, some people are doing. No, you go. You're like, I'm going to do this. It doesn't mean you have to do everything at once, but it does mean you must unlock that part of you that doesn't want to play small anymore, right? When you got a lion in your heart, you got to, at some point, stop living as the mouse. And that's what happens. You have tools and capabilities to scale infinite ideas today, and most people are just worried about their Instagram post. And I'm like, oh my God, where did we get so trapped in small thinking? What I want you to do is think about building an empire that takes care of your family. I want you to think about building an empire that fuels and feeds and pays for teams that are engaged by your mission. I want you to build an empire that you're like, this is going to change the world. If that sounds too highfalutin for you, I'm just that kid from Montana who said, you know what? I had something to happen to me, and I want to use it to inspire people. For those who don't know my story, I had a car accident when I was a 19-year-old kid, and I had been depressive and suicidal. And then I had an accident. And that accident was a good thing for me, because it kind of knocked some sense in a young boy's head that said, hey, life is short, kid. You know? I won't tell my whole story. Some of you have heard it at my events before, but as a 19-year-old kid being confronted with his own mortality in such a very visceral, scary way, I learned about mortality motivation. You know, the idea that you should be so motivated in the morning, not because you're perfect, not because everything aligns, but because guess what? You got this breath. You got this day. You got this opportunity. I would say, listen, I know the difference between people. And the major difference is, are they aware they're going to die someday? Because some people they haven't quite connected with that. They haven't lost their parents, maybe. They haven't lost someone close to them. Maybe they never got sick. Maybe they were never in the hospital bed. But once you get mortality motivation, everything from there is reverence for life. Everything there is a deep appreciation for this moment. I don't got to motivate myself, because it's built into your heart. It's built into your DNA. It's built into life. When you know you have this moment and you have it as a gift, you want to give everything into it and to appreciate it. And all I knew was I'd gotten that second chance from the car accident. And it taught me at the end of my life, I was going to ask whether or not I lived my life. It was going to ask whether or not I had loved, and it was going to ask whether or not I made a difference. So you guys see it out there for me: live, love, and matter. All I wanted to do at the beginning of this career, well, I didn't think about it in these terms the way that we now know. At the beginning of my career, I just wanted to tell people, you got a second chance right now if you got this breath. You got a second chance right now in your marriage. You got a second chance right now with the kids. You got a second chance right now with the business. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, it's another chance to show up differently, to think differently, to feel differently, to give differently, to love differently. Every next morning, you get to rebuild. Those second chances are evergreen. It's every morning. It's every day. It's every interaction. I just want to say, listen, if you get the gift of having a second chance, then live more fully next time. Love more openly this time. Make more of a difference intentionally. That was my business model. That's all I had. I literally wanted to start telling people about their second chance. I called it life's golden ticket. I said, I just want to tell people, you got a second chance. So if you get a second chance, earn this chance. Earn it. Earn this day. Earn this work. Earn this love. Earn this gift. Earn this. Don't throw it away. Earn it, because it's so short. I didn't have a business model. I just want to tell people, you got a second chance. Earn it. Live, love, matter. That was all I had. In other words, I had a message and a mission. That's all I had. I didn't have the tool. I didn't even have the business model. I knew nothing about business. Who came into this room because you did have a message, you did have a mission, and that's driving you way more than technology. Yeah, because the technology changes and gets better and better and better, but the question is, do you change and get better and better and better and better? Because I know about Kenny, he and I have both grown as men over the same time as the capabilities grew in Kajabi. And that's the bigger question for you, is if you're going to grow as a human being, as a business owner. Kenny was not a great business owner, and neither was I when we began. We were like coding. We didn't really quite know. Now he's a phenomenal business leader, and I became that too. So for those of you who are like, well, I'm not that yet, you need to own this fact that you are the business owner. You are going to build this thing if you want to earn this thing. You're going to have to figure these things out. The people who get so scared by that, look, I love it. It's building a real business. What kind of business? A real business. So are you going to build, like, so I tell people, I was like, are you going to build like a campaign funnel, or are you going to build a business? Are you going to build an email sequence, or are you going to build a brand, right? Are you going to do marketing or mission building? It's just a different choice, and that's why I choose Kajabi. It's just different choices that people make. And I really feel like if you could really decide here, more than anything you learn here, but make a decision in your mind that I'm going to build something significant, and I'm going to earn it. And I'm going to be willing to like honor the struggle. It's so hard, but I will honor every step of the way. You'll be outstanding. You will be on this stage. You will be out there, and we will be watching you, and we will cheering you on because you went and did it, and you earned it. Can you all do that with an amen on a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen? It's like at some point, you take this more seriously. And if you won't do it for you, you better do it for your family. If you won't do it for your family, do it for the community. If you won't do it for the community or the family, do it for the earth. Do it for something, because you wouldn't be in this room seeking out more unless you already knew it was there. Now it's time to own it. We got to build a real business. And in our industry, when I talk about our industry, I mean anyone who has the opportunity to sell digital content or subscriptions or utilize Kajabi for what it's for, we have the gift. I always tell people, like, oh, in my career, people say, well, Brendon, how'd you do it? I'm like, well, I had this menu of things, yeah? Like, if you look at this thing up here, this is like a menu of things. You can totally take a picture. It's like a menu of things. Like, when I began in the industry, here's the first thing. If you are beginning in an industry, your first job beginning in any industry is get the menu of things you can do to make money. Like, understand the lay of the land. If you're in a new industry, what's the menu? Now, just like at a restaurant, you don't have to eat everything. And many of you, that's your problem. You look at these things. You've tried to do all of these things in 6 months. And this is why you hate your life. Like, no. Yes, life is short, but in business, you play the long game. Life is short, so take your relationships and your life and your time seriously. But in business, you got to play the long game. And to play the long game, you got to do one thing well, then another thing well, then another thing well, another thing well. You kind of build at it. That's why I call it empire building, not empire got it. So you got to go, oh, okay, what is it? What is it for you? When I looked at this, I said, well, you know, I love coaching, and I like to write books, and I think it'd really make sense for me to teach an online course. And I started with just those things. A book, me coaching, online course. That's how my career began, right? Those three things for about 2 or 3 years did pretty good. Then I added on a live event. And that's all I did for 7 years. Just trying to get excellent at those things. So you got to kind of pick from the menu, what do you want to do? And then you're going to make them excellent. We're going to talk about that idea later. So I looked at it, and for me, it was that. When I worked with like Rachel, she was like, well, I think I'd like to do like she was already in the book. And then it was like, okay, we're going to do a podcast. And then we just taught her subscriptions and membership. And Kajabi and Kenny really built that for them. And so it was like getting things going. They're like, oh, we'll do a live event. And they're adding on as they're going. Oh, we'll write a journal. And they're just adding one new thing as they go. Do one thing well, add on another one. But even they would share, they're going a little fast for themselves. They're going a little fast. You know you're going too fast if you're too wiped out. If you're going too fast, you're wiped out, or you're failing to build team. That's it, right? So you got to pick, like, what do you want? So I picked what I want. I mean, I was an author. This is like probably the most like oddly famous picture of me on the internet. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But it's like, I remember that moment. My lady took that picture. What was happening was I had decided to write the book and do a coaching and my first event, and I failed. I failed really bad. I had left a good, safe corporate job and started writing the book. The book was about to come out. I just had no idea what I was doing. Everything failed. I went bankrupt. I had to move in with my then girlfriend. So moved into her place, and she took this picture one time, and she showed it to me later after we had kind of, done better. And I just remember that's my mom's fold-out, 3-legged table that I borrowed from her sewing room. So she had a sewing machine on top of that. That laptop I had to give back to the company that I just left. I had 90 days to use it. That's basically the whole apartment. I would use the bed to put stuff on, as you see, and I'd always have DVDs and papers and my journals and invoices and bankruptcy papers and vision boards all over the bed because that was all of the desk space that we really had. And then, I'd sit there and just try to work all day, but honestly, I was kind of not doing a good job. I was kind of faking it a little bit because I just didn't quite believe yet. And one night, I'm late on this book. I'm late on building this page. I'm just not in it yet. And my lady walks in, and she tries not to disturb me. And she walks by because I'm typing along, but I'm kind of just not really. I'm trying to get at it, but I'm not really. And she goes over, and it's late, so she crawls under the covers of the bed to go to sleep. And I just happen to look over right then, and I see her getting settled, and all the stuff is still on the bed, and I see my beautiful girl sleeping under the weight of my bills. And it was just like, it was like the heart. I literally felt it crank one, because it's like, because none of us want to see our own inaction cause pain in our families. None of us want to be the responsible party for our family withering under the weight of our own bills because of our inaction, our lack of clarity, our lack of discipline or good habits. And that was true for me. And I saw it, and it literally snapped me. And I was like, never again. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get done. And it was just like, I wrote all night because you know what? Sometimes the biggest gift you can ever give yourself. I mean, how many of you in this room, you'll do more for other people than you do for yourself? So you better tap into that every day. Every day there's a little card next to my computer. It says, who needs me on my A game today? Because you know what? For me, I could screw around all day. Who's good at screwing around all day? I could screw around all day. I could screw around all week. Some of you all have been screwing around for decades. It's easy to screw around, but somebody needs you. Somebody needs you. And you have to tap into that. Because I say, listen, if you won't fight for yourself, then your job is to find somebody to fight for. And if you don't like the language of, I don't fight, Brendon, I say, okay, then find something bigger than yourself to love for. Because until you tap into that, that's why you're sucking wind on a Wednesday versus working. It's why Thursday you got nothing done, or Friday you're disappointed in the week because you're focused on yourself, right? Because it's easy to screw off when you're focused on yourself, but when someone needs you and you really connect with that every day, you either connect with that dream or that mission, ambition for yourself or for somebody else, when you really connect with that and it's in your heart, you don't screw around. You just don't. I was never, ever going to allow my lady to sleep under my bills ever again. I said, if she's sleeping under something, it's our dream house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if we're going to do something, we're going to go at this. And thank God I had somebody who believed in me, because you know what? Sometimes confidence is just the ability to believe that you can figure things out. And she believed in me. She believed in me, thank God, because I just kept writing. I got so motivated to change our lives. I wrote that book, I did that launch, and we went from literally bankrupt to 18 months later, we did a $1.6 million launch in 7 days. It was like, bam, it's like, thank you, God. Thank you. And better than all of that, I could talk about the money, but it was because her belief, and she stayed with me, and then that lady and that girl who was literally paying for that rent in that apartment and buying my groceries. She stayed with me, and we got married, and I got to support her dream afterwards. Because sometimes the best thing is when you get to support other people's dreams. I always say, make your dream come true so you get to make more people's dreams come true. And if you can see more people's dreams on the other side of yours, you'll work harder for yours. Who needs you on your A game? What do you really want to make happen in the world? If you don't connect with that every day, of course you can't make it happen. You just have to believe in yourself. I tell people all the time, I'm like, well, there's my first seminar. Some of you guys been to my events before? It's like, that was the first one. That's the whole room. You don't, no, here's the other angle. That was my first seminar room, the whole thing. It was, I was so happy. I had a little table like this out there, and I had a little laptop and these little Altec speakers under there, and I would come out and the room was like this big. I'm like, and I'd have to hit pause. Okay, guys, now calm down. And there'd be like, there was like 22 people in the room. I always say like less than half paid. I counted the event lady who was helping me. I counted my mom. And literally every time the water guy came in, I counted him too. I was like, 1, 2. Because I want to say, how many people were in this room? It was that small. And I just say, listen, never limit your vision for you or your family's future based on your current circumstances or competencies. Big mouthful. But it's so powerful of a principle in my life. Don't limit where you can go. It didn't bother me that I was writing my first book on a stupid fold-out table. It didn't bother me because I could see where I was going to go. It didn't bother me there's only 22 people. It didn't bother me because I could see where I was going to go. It doesn't matter what you know now. It does not matter. You cannot limit your future vision based on what you know now, because can you grow, yes or no? Yes. You can grow. And once you trust you can grow, then you can build, and you'll build something significant. If you don't trust that you can build, that's because you've cut yourself off from the dream because you're only focused on what you have now. Difference between successful people and unsuccessful people sometimes is that simple thing. They both have the same dream, same wants, same ambitions. It's just that when you're unsuccessful, you say, well, I see other people have that, but I'm not like them, or I don't know how to do that, or I don't have the things, so they stop themselves. Successful people also say the same thing. Well, I'm not like that, so I guess I'll have to grow into that. Well, I don't have those things. I guess I'm going to have to build them. I don't know how to do that. I guess I have to learn them. In other words, they take their inadequacies and put it on their to-do list versus avoiding it and running away and hiding in Netflix for 5 seasons. Never limit your vision. Your family needs you to have a bigger vision. And once you connect with that, everything shifts because it's not just about you anymore. I also say never undervalue who you are and what you know. Your greatest asset is you. Your story, what you know. You cannot underestimate what you are capable of because you can grow and you can learn. But for those of you who want a high-valued business, you'd better stop undervaluing yourself. How are you ever going to have a bigger business if you keep selling yourself short? Doesn't work that way. But you don't have to have confidence like, blah, 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 look at me. Confidence is just your belief in your ability to figure things out. Like, I just believe any of you can run my business, and I could run any of your businesses. With enough time, energy, mentorship, someone showing you what to do, following a plan, any of us can do anything. I truly believe that any of us can figure out anything. It doesn't mean that we'll be the best in the world, but could we be competent and super successful? Absolutely. I just believe it. We can all learn. And once you adopt a learning mindset, then fear and disappointment goes away because you guys, it's just one more step, one more distinction, one more learning. You just have to have that belief in yourself. I mean, because I went from that little room to the bigger rooms 8 times a year running larger events or masterminds. Then it went bigger with bigger dreams for what I wanted to make, renting out the Mexican National Circus so they were the only one who gave me the tent. Then it was like big. And it just got bigger and bigger as my career went on. And then it was like working with all these fancy people to build their careers or help them with their mission or their cause, then mine. But I'm not showing pictures so fancy because my favorite picture is that one. That's my mom. That's my pops. That would be the last seminar. Thank you. I appreciate that. That would be the last seminar Dad got to attend. It was my first big one. And then 2 years later, we'd lose him to cancer. And he was healthy in there. We didn't know he was even sick. And he was so proud. And he would show up in the morning at registration and help everybody. He'd carry every single box. He would just be there. He was always telling me all my life, just be yourself. Be honest. Do your best. Take care of your family. Treat people with respect. Be a good citizen. Follow your dreams. He always had these good things he was saying. And I always say, you know what? If you won't earn more and build more for yourself, do it for your family, because success counts the most when you get to give back to your heroes or the causes of the people who moved you. Because if you're in a room like this, you might not know it, but you already got the luck and the blessing. You already made it. Some days you just don't appreciate it, but you already made it if you're in a room like this. You really are. You lucked out. Absolutely. We all lucked out to be here. You already made it. That's the lady. That's my girl, Denise. I never showed pictures of her for 15 years doing this career. And then now we launched HPX, our podcast together. I hope you guys will all listen to HPX podcast, and we do all these things together. But I like to show this, not to brag, but to give context when we show you. All this was on Kajabi. 28 online launches over 7 figures. So 7 figures, meaning $1 million launch, usually in 7 to 10-day period. We did 28 of them. We learned a lot. 6 best-selling books, 3 podcasts, 24 online courses, all these live broadcasts, everything built from day one on Kajabi. And at one point, it was Kajabi and plugged into 15 other things. And now today, it's just Kajabi. Thank you so much, Kenny. So let me give you some principles that I followed that helped me. Create and sell information or content or products, whatever you call it. For me, it's information, right? So you guys might have different things. It's content for me. Create and sell things that fascinates you. That what? If you aren't fascinated by it, don't build it and sell it because you'll get bored with it. Because to build anything significant, you're going to have to talk about it nonstop for 3 years minimum. Many of you are building things that you're tired of talking about after 2 months. That's why you're struggling. You're already bored with the thing. And the reason is because you did it because you thought it would make you money. It wasn't a mission. It wasn't something you really cared about. And that's why people get stuck. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll do it. That will make me money. No, you're going to get bored with it because it's not your thing yet. You got to find the thing that you want to talk. If you don't see yourself talking about it every week for 3 years, wrong product. Wrong. Don't even start with it. Don't even do it just because it can make you money. Because lots of things can make you money. You can dress like a chicken and stand out front with it, say, give me $10, and you'll be all good. Like, you can make lots of money doing dumb stuff. So don't choose dumb stuff by lacking the ability to think through. Like, you got to talk about it at least 3 years. Every week, you're going to be pumped to talk about it. That was my first thing. I was like, I'm not going to build it unless I love it. I want to talk about it. Number 2, don't create niche products. Market to niches. Some people call it niche, right? So in marketing, there's this terrible belief still perpetuated by usually newbie marketers and trainers who lack the discipline to study the history of the very industry they are in. So if any of you are actually teaching people, Niche marketing, time for an education up at Kajabi. Because if you're teaching that, you probably didn't do your homework on what did niche marketing mean, where did it come from. No one ever, they said it niche marketing, not niche product building. And most people confuse the two. So some of you, you're running around 50 different directions because you're trying to build niche products for all these different niche people. And you didn't understand. They didn't say niche product building. They said niche marketing. And where that came from was back in the 20s. Some of you guys know I'm like a complete history buff. At the dawn of like the modern advertising age, if you had a Hoover vacuum cleaner as an example, they didn't say you should make a vacuum cleaner for all these different types of people and businesses. They said you have a vacuum cleaner. You need to put out an ad that sells vacuum cleaner to moms. You need to put out an ad that also sells the same vacuum cleaner to mid-sized companies. Right? Take the same vacuum cleaner, knock on all these doors and say, this vacuum cleaner is going to be so great for your house. Then the other vacuum cleaner is a small business. You know what? Your business is growing. You really need a great vacuum cleaner. This one's going to be great. That's what niche marketing means. It means you change the marketing message and the market to draw in audiences to the same thing so you can scale the same thing. Did Apple make an iPod just for chiropractors? This is what I'm told all the time. Oh, Brendon, you're a high-performance academy. It's life-changing. You should do a high-performance academy just for Fortune 50 CEOs. You should do a high-performance academy or an experts academy just for dentists. You should do one just for moms. I'm like, I would be tired, homie. Why would I do that? No, instead, I put an ad out that talks to Fortune executives to draw them to the same thing. That's how you scale. I put another ad out that talks to athletes that sells them the same thing. I put another thing, different ad, different message to sell the same thing. That's what niche marketing meant. So if you're somebody telling people to make lots of different products for different types of people, then you are wasting their time, and don't be a human that wastes other humans' time, ever. Learn your history. If you're going to market most of you, listen, you're so crazy. Let me tell you, okay, who knows what Apple is? Do you remember when Steve Jobs left Apple? He came back, he's like, why do we have all these products? This is stupid. So when he came back to Apple, his first actions was to clean house. He said, no, we don't need 40 different product categories. Let's focus on these 6. And just for those who already know you're burnt out, let me give you the metaphor for this. Apple, one of the biggest brands in the history of the world, at one point the highest valuation, $1 trillion valuation, and tens of thousands of employees. They have like 6 main products. Yeah? You have like the iPhone, you have like the iPad, you have like the MacBook Pro, you have like some screen and some surround wear and the services. That's it. Tens of thousands of employees, $1 trillion market cap, thousands of executives with 6. How many are you doing? Some of you suckers are trying to run 15, 20, 30 of them. No wonder you're tired and you don't know your children's name anymore. No wonder your best friend is Starbucks. No wonder you are wiped out all the time. You are trying to run something the size that $1 trillion business is trying to run. You need to narrow it down and own that thing and make it a blockbuster that is printing you out millions, just a few things, printing you out millions instead of tons of them. The good news is I knew that intuitively because I knew I was not capable of doing things that took companies hundreds of people to do. Like, a good thing in Montana is that we have enough humility to go, you know what? Looks hard. Let's not do it. I mean, good God. Some of you, I see your product mix. It's like, Brendon, well, I've got this book, and then I wrote it for children too, and I wrote it for moms too, and then I wrote this other webinar, and I have 17 webinars that sell these 14 different online courses. I said, holy man, you are amazing. Who's your team? Well, my son helps me figure out Instagram. I'm like, how are you doing all of this? Sometimes doing more is the exact block to greater wealth. You're just doing too much. Be world-class and amazing at just a few things, right? Just a few things will change your life. Just a few things, if you just honed in on that. Third, create and sell 3 products per brand topic. Then stop. Then what? Stop. Okay, create and sell 3 products per brand topic. What does that mean, Brendon? Well, I've got multiple brands, but only 3 products per each brand. As an example, I've got my High Performance Academy. As an example, I've got literally 3 products for that. Low tier, mid tier, high tier. Once you understand that, everything changes. What's the brand? Low tier, sell stuff under 99 bucks. Mid tier, 99 bucks, all the way up to 500 bucks. High tier, 500 bucks and above. 1 thing in each, that's it. Start with that, build that to $10 million or more, then start adding other stuff. Otherwise, you're diffusing your ability to focus and build things around it, and all of a sudden you're like struggling, you're doing too much. I really think it's the ultimate problem for us, because how many innovators in this room, how many of you have so many ideas? Yeah. But how many of you have 2 arms? Just saying. Just saying. Just strip it down. Remember, create blockbusters. Turn the person left, right, shake them and say, make a blockbuster. Shake them, grab them. Blockbusters. Just create a few things, do them great, and then set them up in great pipelines or email funnels, whatever you want to call it, where someone's giving you an email, you're adding a lot of value, you're selling something. That's the whole model. We call OVO at Experts Academy, opt-in value offer. That built us into literally tens and tens of millions of dollars. That's the whole marketing strategy. Opt-in, get email. Add value, make an offer. Now, you can change that up in lots of ways, right? Opt in for a webinar, opt in for a free video series, opt in for a PDF, opt in for something. But capture that contact, add value, sell something, offer. OVO. Still this day, I've been teaching it for 10 years. It's the most fundamental thing. The more OVOs you have running well, the richer you are. That's the differentiator. It's not the number of products. Some people, it's not even how good the products are. It's does the OVO work? If the OVO works, you got the business. Last, create and sell in the modality you love first. Some of you are fooling yourself. You're like, Brendon, I really want to be an author, but I'm running 17 webinars. I'm like, write the book. Some of you are like, I want to be a life coach, but I need to get 50 more things before I can do that. I'm like, start coaching. You're like, if you love, I love writing, I love coaching, and I love teaching. So I chose the modalities that made sense for me. Book, coaching, training, online courses. You gotta, if you don't love it, if you're ever creating something, you're like, I hate this. Cue to stop. Because listen, anything you hate or bemoan all the time, listen, anything you put hate on quickly dissolves and kills the thing it is applied to. I hate doing email for my business. Then the business is going to die because you're applying hate to it. Your emotional energy with your business is everything. I force myself to bring the joy at everything I do. Because if I touch anything with hate, I know it's going to die. So beware of what you complain, bemoan about. Because if you keep doing that, you'll kill the very thing you care for so much. Right? It's just like, well, I hate this argument with my spouse. How often do you have it? Every week. You're toast. So, 10 things. Let's diagnose your business. If you are struggling with your business, it's probably one of these 10 things, so I can be fairly brief with it because you guys get it. The first thing is to claim and master your topic. To do what with your topic? Master your topic. I want you to go deep and to dork out and understand what you do. As I was blessed, as Kenny introduced me, I'm the highest paid in 3 things in the world. Now, the funny thing is, I'm dumb. I am dumb in about 4 million things. 3 things I went deep on, became the highest paid in. Only 3 things. I didn't try to understand everything. You only have to figure, go deep, master something. Because the more you are the thought leader, the expert, or the influencer, or the leader in that, the higher you get paid. It's easier, right? It's easier. When I was starting, I didn't know much about a topic like personal development. I might get a $5,000 speaking gig. I might get a 0.005% conversion rate. And then, as I became known for it, I got better at it, and they're like, wow, he's teaching real distinctions here. Now, all of a sudden, it was $100,000 speaking gig. Great, 5% conversions. Okay, we're on a move now. This is happening. You got to get deep in what you know. If you feel like you're struggling, it's because you're probably not teaching with enough distinction, or your value of the product is not demonstrating some type of excellence where they're like, ooh, that's different. She must have worked really hard to figure that thing out. Or you're failing to communicate that you worked really hard to figure that thing out, right? If I look at your marketing, I can't say, ooh, she worked real hard to figure that thing out. That's why you're not getting the conversions. We got to know you did your work. You figured it out. Whether you figured it out on your own, or you researched it from other people, or you find out what everyone else is doing. Number two, you got to discover your audience's problems and ambitions. Many people in the old school marketing mindset, all they do all day long is market problems. Problems, because they say, well, Brendon, that headline gets more clicked, or people watch more. But listen, if all you do is market answers to problems today, you are called a commodity. And you will always be owned by the market, and you will never have freedom. Because guess what? Your competition is Google. If all you do is solve problems, what you need to sell today is a higher aspiration for your audience. It's two sides of a coin, right? You got to talk about the problems, but the other side, like one side, that's copper. That's the problems. The other side, that's gold. That's their aspirations. And you better talk to both, but today what's working is leading with the aspiration. Problems get attention. Aspirations get paid for. So think about what is it you're selling that's a higher level and a higher value add to people. Number three, you got to define your story. You need to know your story inside out. And I don't mean your life story, because some of you, every time you talk about what you have, well, I'd like to yes, when I was 5 years old, this is what happened. And then when I went to high school, this happened. And then went to college, this happened. And then I had the kids, and then this happened. And what's happening right now is all these other things that I'm doing. And you're just like, you think you have to tell your life story? What you need to know is, what is the story that is relevant to the struggles and aspirations your current customer has? Because I won't believe your successes or believe you're the person to teach me or sell me unless I can see that you intimately relate with my journey, my struggle. I need to know when I go to your page, you're talking to me, right? Your customer. You got to be talking to them, and you got to share your story along the way. You don't need a lot. Literally, my entire career has been based off like maybe 3, maybe 4 stories. That's it. 3 or 4 stories that so aligned with the heart of the customer. I just tell those stories over and over and over. And people go, aren't you tired of the stories? I'm like, no, because every time I start a story, there's somebody new in the room who haven't heard it, and I'm going to connect with them with that. I also believe you tell stories that you find meaningful. You need to find the stories along your path that you feel like was a message you're supposed to share, right? A message you've had things happen to you that at the time you might have hated, but maybe they were given to you as a gift that you're supposed to share, right? And once you understand that maybe that was a gift to share to help other people not go through it or not feel so bad through it, that now we can turn our troubles into stories that connect with other people and help them. Now you never get tired of your stories, because people will connect to your stories as much as they will to your offer. In fact, if they didn't connect with the stories, that's why they don't convert at the offer. Next up, you got to create a solution, a product, specifically for that type of person or story. And listen, make your products great. I always say, you know what? Excellence usually only takes 2 weeks longer. That's it. Excellence only takes 2 weeks longer. I got blessed to coach and work with Paula Abdul. She was on American Idol, that Paula Abdul. And she was always saying, she says, you know what, Brendon, I love it. There's no traffic after the extra mile. You don't have any competition if you just go a little further. Like often, it only takes 1 more week of honing it in. It only takes 2 more weeks to make it excellent. Don't try to be perfect, but make it excellent. Be proud of that thing, right? And then release it. And remember, for those who, but Brendon, I'm a perfectionist. I'm like, oh my God, perfectionists have never looked up that definition. They don't even know what it means. I got to be a perfectionist. I'm like, oh my gosh. Listen, did you know you can't perfect something until you release it? Perfection is based in the root word to perfect. To perfect requires it to be out there first, and then you perfect it. You make it better. Like, until it's in that form, you can't perfect it. So for some of you who've just been waiting to ship, I'm like, ship, get it done, release it, make it better. But stop telling yourself it's going to take years, 2 weeks. When people leave my events, I'm like, you got 90 days. If you can't make a blockbuster product in 90 days, the problem is not in the 90 days. The problem is up here. How many understand? Yeah. Like, so many of you sell yourself so short. That's what I've learned. In 10 years of teaching people just like us, it's usually not the technology, it's the person selling themselves so short. They're limiting their future vision based on what they know now. And that just keeps coming back. Next up, easy. Put up a website and a weekly blog or vlog. Weekly content release is critical to ongoing growth of any company. Weekly content. I know some of you are like, no, it's daily. We'll talk about social media later. I want you to put out a significant newsletter or email every week. We've done that for 12 years, and that's why we're here. 12 years, every week. Once in a while, we miss it, but on average, across 12 years, we're probably like 90%. 90% of the time, every week for 12 years. That engagement and that connection with the audience is why they engage with your offers later. When you keep coming out of nowhere with new things, that's why you're not building and scaling. You keep coming out of nowhere with new things. You got to keep that relationship, that conversation going on a weekly basis. Next, you need to post and promote 4 pieces of content every day, social media. Everyone's like, oh my God. So let's talk about this. I've done this for 7 years. And it's how we got 5 million fans on Facebook and everything else we have all across the internet. And here's the thing. The truth is, at the beginning, when you're starting, it was 4 new posts. But those 4 posts, I'd literally sit down, cup of green tea, I'd kick out 4 new things, 4 new quotes. Or I'd take a picture, and I'd type in a line about it. I just try to get 4 things every day when Facebook came out. That's all I tried, just 4 every day. Simple things. It would never take me more than 20 minutes, ever. And I'd put them in a Dropbox, and they would just be in there. And then what ended up happening, as I'd go along, maybe I'd be busy. So I'd make 1 new one and post 3 from the vault, from the library I'd been building. How many understand? So at first, you're really just building, but it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be something to stay engaged in their mind. And then, notice it says post and promote. What that means is when you got a good one and it takes off and it really worked, boost that one a little bit. Give it a little love, a little extra firepower. Because that's the one that gets engagement, boost that one. So every Friday, look back on social media, see what really worked best for your audience. Even if only 15 people liked it when you begin, but 15 liked it and the other ones, only 3 did, take that one with 15 and boost that one to a larger audience. Y'all follow? So every week, boost the winners. Every week, boost the winners because those already get the more engagement. When you boost the winners every week, the audience just go wham, predictably. Next up, create evergreen campaigns for your products. Is this too much, guys? I'm like, ugh. Okay, I'm going so fast. Create evergreen campaigns for products. What does that mean? OVO. An evergreen campaign means always have content or ads out there running, content or ads, driving people to an opt-in page. Get that email, add that value, make that offer automatically. That is your freedom. That is your freedom. That has given me more time. I would say I haven't been in the game the longest. I've just been in the game the happiest the longest. And the reason was because day one, I said, I want more free time. A business should give a business owner more free time. Ultimately, it doesn't feel like that when you begin, but that should be part of the job. It should be like, I need to create freedom for my family. So that if you get sick or you don't want to work or you want to take that Disney cruise or you want to go to Puerto Rico with your family and hang out, you can do it and your revenue doesn't go down. Like I can just go do whatever in the world. My revenue doesn't go down because I've got those evergreen campaigns running all the time. Number 8, run ads all the time. Who is not running consistent ads to your business? Be honest. Okay, now look around the room. Raise it high, it's okay. Look around the room. Does this room have a lot of work to do, yes or no? Yes. Listen, I want you to understand this really closely because many people, especially new people who have an organic hit or win, they'll be like, oh no, you don't need to run ads. And you'll tell yourself that until the organic love runs out. If you want a long-term running business, it is irresponsible for you not to understand return on investment from advertising. It's like part of running a business, just like checking your bank account is. If you're not actively paying to get an audience and getting sales, you'll never understand how to scale your business. You'll just keep hoping for the luck and the organic thing to work out. I'm all for organic stuff, but I say if you're a business owner, you must figure out the paid piece because that will change everything. It literally changes everything. So please get that in your mind sooner than later. You're all so scared about it. I'm like, spend $100 to something and learn how to do it. Get better and better and better. Because your real freedom is when those ads are running and you're on vacation. And those of you who do not have an evergreen campaign, I'm here to tell you, you also don't have a business. You have a day job. You have a lot of tasks. But if something's not running without you, that's not a business. That is an effort you are being paid for. It's very different. Very different. You are being paid for effort. You don't have a business. A business runs if you can go on vacation for 3 weeks and it's still running and paying the same. That's a real business. No one likes when I say that, but it's okay. Because Rachel said, you don't have to care what no one thinks. Okay. Number 9, you got to get promotional partners. Get other people. Who's met somebody awesome at the Kajabi event, ladies and gentlemen? So will you keep in touch with each other? I made millions of dollars with people I met exactly like this. You do what? Oh, okay. Would you promote mine one day? I'll promote yours one day. Okay. And you just keep in contact. You need promotional partners if you want to scale. You don't have to do it all at once, but at least get it. And then last, if I could tell anyone, 4 things have made my career. 4 things. Value. I always lead with value. I tend to put out 4 pieces of value before every offer. It's not that I don't speak about the offer when I deliver the value. It's just that before I get to those countdown sequences, 72 hours left, by the time I've gotten there, I put out 4 things that really added value. I'm all about 4-to-1 ratio. I don't want to just throw something on somebody. I want to build up to it and add a lot of value along the way. Distinction, I think about how is this different than other people's stuff? Like, how would they know if it's different? Excellence, taking a little bit of extra time to do better. And then service. And service means 2 things here. Service means, number 1, like having good customer service. Always take care of your customers. Always take care of your customers. And number 2, service. Like if your audience connects with the service of your heart, your mission, what you're about, they can see that you're a good dude, a good gal, doing good work in the world. It's coming from an authentic place. You want to see your audience happy and successful. That level of service in the world, it's not there anymore. I mean, how many of y'all remember that phrase, servant leadership? Yeah, if you understand that, you win. If you don't get that, you're still selfishly trying to earn versus trying to service the world. And when you do this to provide service, you don't run out of motivation. You just don't. It's so important. I promise to share, if I started all over again, here's what I would do. If I started all over again in Kajabi, here's exactly what I would do personally, because I get asked this all the time, and I'll wrap up. Number 1, I would do a monthly program, AKA a subscription or membership. Same thing. If you hear subscription, continuity, or membership, it's the same word. It means the same thing, okay? Meaning I would charge people every month for new content. Charge people every month for new content. If I was totally new, I'd start at like $29 a month, and I'd say, you know what? Let me get 1,000 people in that a year. 1,000 people in the year. If I got 1,000 people, meaning I took all 12 months to get 1,000 people, that would be $29,000 a month. That's $348,000 a year, and I'm doing pretty good. Notice, I don't need 1 million people. I need 1,000 people. 1,000. 12 months. I could do that. I would also ultimately add on like a 3-part webinar series or a mini class, something I charge like $97 for. And I say, okay, I'm going to go after 200 people a month. If I get 200 people a month on that, that's $19,400 a month. That'd be almost $250,000 a year, $232,000 a year. I would start with that. I'd add that. I would also add on an online course, and I hope everybody in this room has an online course by now. Doesn't matter what you sell. If you can create some kind of online course that sells all the time, it just changes your life forever. I have 28 online courses, and it's why it's like I just know I'm good for life now. I took the time to do that. Well, 29, if you got 100 people sign up for a month, that'd be $29,700 a month. That'd be $356,400 a year, and I would add on one-on-one coaching. I would coach a select group of people to help them succeed, and I would start at like $1,000 a month with people. I'd say, okay, $1,000 a month. And some of you are like, $1,000 a month, oh my gosh. Well, if you're insecure, talk to them more that month. If you're good, talk to them once. Totally up to you. 15 clients, $15,000 a month, that's $180,000. So people say, Brendon, I hear all these numbers. If you wanted to make your first $1 million, what would you do? All that adds up to $1,117,200 per year. That's what I do. I do 4 things and only 4 things. And I'd work on those 4 things, and I would just begin. You guys like it? That's what I would do. That's what I would do. For those who are like, I can't do all 4 of them, if I had one thing to stand on this stage and say as a business to focus on in your business right now, everybody in the room, no matter what you sell, I don't care if you sell cupcakes, I don't care if you doggy toys, I don't care if you sell content and instruction or inspiration. Everybody in this room, this has been my thing I've been beating for like 4 years in the market. And so far, I've been pretty darn right. Sell those subscriptions or membership, right? The monthly program. Get people paying you every month for something, because that is a real business. That is something you can make your entire business run from, because now you know your budget. Because guess what? You know in 3 months, based on how many people canceled this month or how many people signed up this month, in 3 months you know exactly how much money you will have, and that changes everything. I know exactly how much money I'll have in 3 months versus going, I better launch something so we make something, honey. Get your subscriptions going. If you're not serious about a monthly subscription program, you're missing out on one of the greatest tools that Kenny has built in Kajabi, one of the greatest differentiators. That subscription ability to recharge every single month for new content, it will change your life. It will give you freedom. It'll make the ad budgets easier. It'll make the spend easier. It'll make the holidays easier. It will change everything for you, and you deserve that. All I can say in the end, though, is use Kajabi. You have the gifts. You have the tools. Show up every day. Earn it for somebody else. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brendon Burchard. I love you. I love Kajabi. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Go use